Right now, a mother can't sleep because she's concerned about her child who struggles with stuttering and she doesn't know what to do. Right now, you might be struggling because you stutter and you think it holds you back. But Margie Santos, who's been there, says there's hope.
When we found the class, the whole thing was to come and support, but in reality, the more that I dig into the information, I'm finding out a lot about myself. That I said, okay, this is actually helping me. A lot of things I didn't know about that I'm learning as I'm reading about the stuttering. Because of course I knew I had it, but I never really read about it. And, so I just got some stats here that I wanted to share. And maybe you've heard it all before. So in the world, we have 7.7 billion people in the whole world, right? And I thought this was interesting, so I wanted to share it. And out of those 7.7 billion, we have 70 million people in the world that are actual stutterers. 70 million in the whole world. Just in the U.S. here, there are over 3 million people that stutter. So that was important to find out. I didn't know we had so many people that that dealt with this like we do. So it's interesting because sometimes when you go through stuff, you think like you're the only one or it's just a group of us, but over 3 million people. Can you imagine that? So that's why it's important. When we found the group, we said, wow, a lot of people need to know about this. A lot of people need to know about our group because I'm sure in New Jersey there are many more people that are experiencing this or have experienced it, or they have a family member or cousin or uncle or somebody that stutters and they need the support. And sometimes we think, oh, we're good, we don't need the support, we can handle it on our own. But in reality, it's good to come to. It's good to share. When you share your story, it does help you overcome a lot of things. So support groups are very necessary. So I was finding out information about stuttering. Growing up, I used to stutter a lot since the age of 6, and I really didn't know too much about it. Just okay, I didn't know how to talk. I stuttered. But as I'm researching, I'm just finding out so much information, like how do people stutter? What happens to us when we stutter? So I've just found out like people start stuttering from developmental, growing up and developmental issues. They'll start to stutter. Neurogenic, psychogenic, and then there's family history. So there's like so many different ways that we actually we don't all stutter from the same thing. There's different ways that we can get it. So when you read upon it, I don't know if you guys take the time to just read and study all of that. It's very interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. So I just wrote some things down some key things I wanted to talk about. Stuttering is a multifaceted speech disorder that can have a significant impact on people who stutter. One that extends beyond the actual communication difficulties that we encounter. And this was important for me to talk about because even though you'll hear me today and I'm not stuttering, stuttering goes beyond that. It goes, just because you don't hear someone stuttering anymore, but they used to as a child, there's a lot of effects to it when you're an adult. And I thought that was important to bring out today because, like I said, I started stuttering since the age of 6, and I think it ended when I started high school. Because I was taking speech classes, and I was in my church youth group, and that helped me a lot as well. So by the age of around high school, I didn't stutter anymore, but I had all of the emotional and psychological effects of the stuttering, which carried on till now, till as an adult. I'm 43 years old. So even though you won't hear someone stuttering, there's a lot of effects that happens, and And it's okay because once you start researching and being educated about it, you can get help, and you can get better. So that's a little bit of what happened to me. So social, emotional, psychological issues can accompany stuttering, largely as a result of society's depictions of and reactions to those who stutter. So society will do that to us, right? They'll make us feel bad, and people around us. Therefore, if it affects our quality of life. For many years, I didn't know what I had. For many years, I didn't know I had a problem. Because when something, you do it every day and it's a norm, you don't see it as a problem. You're just like, oh, that's just how I am. So as a kid, I was teased, ridiculed since the age of 6. I remember being in school, and mine was really bad. I couldn't complete a sentence. It took a long time to complete a sentence, and I remember all the kids laughing at me. I remember being the joke of the class, and it was very hard, like when the teacher would say, well, we're gonna go around the room and ask or say your name or answer this question. I would take the bathroom pass, and go and leave the room, or I had to do something to get away from it. I hated to go up in front of the class to talk about something, or just to be called upon. It was like, oh my God, everyone's watching me and I'm not gonna complete the sentence. So after a while, it takes a toll on you, emotionally and psychologically. And that's what, over the years, that's what happened to me. And so even though I overcame the physical part of the stuttering, the emotional and psychological was still there. And that's what I want to bring today, that it comes with that, but we can overcome that. There's many ways we can overcome the emotional and psychological part of it. So what happened as a result of me being teased, and it wasn't just at school, because I have a brother and a sister. And when you have a brother and sister, you know what they do. They make fun of you, they tease you, they make your life hell. So when I would go home, I had a younger brother and an older sister. And so when I couldn't talk, I couldn't complete a sentence, they would laugh or they would make fun of me. And that's how brothers and sisters are, right? We all have one. So not only did I get it at home, but then I went back to school and it was again. So after a while, it took a toll on my self-esteem, and I shut down. I really did shut down. I didn't want to talk anymore. I talked when I had to, of course, when my mother or anyone would ask me a question, my teacher. But as far as being social as a kid, I shut down, and I didn't talk much. I was in the corner. As I got older, I started writing a lot, which helped me now, because now with my company I do resumes, so that writing helped me. But I started writing a lot. I started writing notes to my friends. Some of them were accepting of it, and others, of course, ridiculed me and said, why are you writing me a note? Why can't you just talk to me? And so, going through those things, it did something for my emotional and psychological. I just shut down, and I wasn't social. I just became just a quiet person, timid, in a corner. When there was like a Christmas party or something, I would go for a couple minutes and I would leave, because that would require me talking. And I think I also developed a fear of being laughed at, because all my life being laughed at. I was like, oh my God, if I say something wrong or I start stuttering again, they're gonna laugh at me. And I grew up that way. And so as I went to high school, went to college, when I got married as well, it was just being a quiet person and not talking as much and being timid. And so my whole point is that the emotional and psychological carried on throughout my life, and I didn't know I had a problem. I was just like, oh, well, this is just me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. This is who I am. I'm a quiet person, but I didn't know that all of that was taking a toll until later on in life, when I started to research and find out what exactly was wrong with me. And I remember family dinners, and when I started working as well, we would have like corporate meetings. We would have the Christmas events or any kind of gatherings we had. It was really uncomfortable for me because I was like, oh my God, now I have to be social. Now I have to, talk to a lot of people, and I had that insecurity because when you were laughed at all your life, you just don't want to be social. So that's what happened to me as a child and growing up, and so I wrote down some psychological effects that happens to us when we're going through our stuttering. Some of the symptoms that we would experience, and I'm sure that we all feel this way. But these are the psychological effects, and maybe you don't know it's psychological. You just feel it, but this goes with the emotional and psychological of the stuttering. So the symptoms are we feel fear, we feel shame, we feel angry, right? We're angry that how come everybody else gets to talk right and we talk like this. So we feel that it's a psychological symptom. We feel guilt, we feel confusion, lack of clear thought, hostility, low self-esteem. I'm sure we all go through that because we feel less of ourselves because we're not talking right, or people looking down at us. So it does, after a while, it affects our self-esteem. Anxiety, and that was a main thing for me. Growing up, I used to bite my nails. We all deal with things differently, but that was my thing. Growing up, I remember my mom and people smack my hand out of my mouth, and and I grew up biting my nails. But that was part of my anxiety, and that's how I dealt with it. Depression is another symptom, psychological symptom that we may go through because of what's happening. Panic, frustration, embarrassment, isolation, which was me. I would put myself in a corner. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Social phobias, which is what also happened to me. And even as an adult, even till now, I believe that when I started my business 3 years ago, it's really helping me with my social phobia because, out of all things, I have to go and create a networking business, and I did that because I wanted to get the businesses together and get to know each other. But I had no idea that I would have to be there in front of people, or actually, I didn't know that I was still dealing with my issues of a child until I started my business. And I was like, oh crap, I actually have to get in front of people. I actually have to talk to all these people. And I guess it didn't trigger or didn't connect until I started my business 3 years ago. And then it was like, okay, I had to accept that I'm still going through something emotionally and psychologically because I stuttered as a child going through high school. So once you accept something, it's easier for you to overcome it. So I guess all those years too, I was like in denial. Oh, I'm good. I don't study anymore. I'm good. But in reality, I wasn't good. I had the emotional and psychological thing going on, and I had to accept it and then learn more about it and then overcome it. So. And it's okay, it's okay to have those feelings as long as you recognize that you could overcome all of it. Stuttering is what we do, it's not who we are. That was the main thing I had to learn. Just because you have difficulty talking doesn't mean that's who you are. You are more than that. We have goals, we have dreams, we have to keep doing it. We cannot let anything stop us, not even that. Because the things that we're passionate about, like for example, me passionate about my business and networking and marketing, that actually is helping me overcome the emotional and psychological things that I was still holding on to, and I didn't know that I still was. So when you're following your passion and your dreams, and you're doing what you love the best, which gives you confidence, you're gonna overcome, what you're going through. And I believe that because it's happened to me. Um, so ways to improve. Ways to improve. We can, if you're still going through it, we can, see a speech language pathologist. I'm not sure if anyone is doing that, but I know that I did that when I was in grade school. My teacher, while everybody was outside playing gym or going to dance class, I was in speech class. So, but it's something that I had to do, and I believe that it did help me over the years. And support groups like what we're doing right now, it also helps us. It helps us to talk about it, which is acknowledging our problem, you know. And not only do we get to talk about it and we feel comfortable around people who are going through the same thing as we do, but we get to learn more about it, right? Because there's so much information out there about this. So support groups are also great. One of my support groups was my church growing up as well, and they helped me with it. It's having more conversations as well. Like for me, the isolation was big. So now as a business and doing networking, I get to talk to so many more people, and it's helping me with my confidence, my self-esteem, and it's helping me to talk better too. Now I do find myself still stuttering when, like for example, I had to do a Spanish interview on a Spanish TV station. I was really nervous about that because even though I am Spanish, I don't talk it that well. So when I was on the station, I did find myself stuttering here and there. So, it will come back when we're nervous about something, and that's okay. So I was able to work through that and do the Spanish interview. But having more conversations and talking more, not isolating yourselves, that really helps too. It helped me. It's helping me now as a business owner. And also, low stress environment can help reduce the stuttering. So, if you're in a stressful situation or you're going through a lot, that actually doesn't help. So you just have to try to limit any kind of stress that you have in your life, and that helps with the stuttering. And let's see, what else did I want to talk about? So I don't know if you guys know, there are apps also that help us with the stuttering, and it's just crazy because we live in now is everything is social media and apps and everything. So I just wanted to give you guys a few of the apps that I found. I don't know if you guys are using it, but there's one called Fluency that you can use to help. There's one called DAF Pro, Speech for Good, Phonic Stretch, Speech Jammer, and Speech Pace Setter. So these are just a few, but if you go to the App Store and you type in stuttering or speech, there's so many that you can use, and most of them are free. And you can download it and use them like daily. They'll send you reminders like practices and stuff. So that will also help as well. And I actually downloaded a few of them to help me as well. So, there's many ways for us to improve. There's many ways for us to get help. And just being here is a great support. Like I said, when I came, I said, I'm going to go support. But I actually needed the support too. So I'm grateful for this group because I'm like, oh, I'm good. Not good. I'm still carrying the emotional and psychological effects from the childhood. So I thank God for this group and for Joan and Rob for encouraging me. Say, yeah, let's go to the group. And it's been helping. It really has been helping. Just know more about myself too, because it's like thinking you're good, but you're not. So every day we should learn more about ourselves and we should improve. Every day. So there's hope and help for all of us. We should never think that, we're lesser than anybody or that there's no hope for us. There definitely is. And the more we educate ourselves and learn more, we definitely can get better. And I wanted to share with you guys because as I was researching, I found there was so many celebrities out there that had made it. And I just wanted to share it. So people that have overcome it or maybe still have it, but they're successful, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter what dream or passions you have, you still go out and chase and pursue it, because many of us have done it and been successful. So Elvis Presley, I don't know if you guys knew that, you know, he used to stutter. Marilyn Monroe, we have Julia Roberts, Tiger Woods, Bruce Willis, Steve Harvey, Kylie Minogue, Samuel Jackson, and Oral Roberts, who has a university. So, you know, there are many people out there that have continued to chase their dreams and been successful, and it's an inspiration for us, right? Because there's hope and there's hope for all of us. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to just encourage you all to continue what you're doing. You know that you're not, you know, just because we stutter, that's not who we are. You know, we all have a gift that we have to give to the world, and we should not let anything stand in our way, not even stuttering. Okay? Thank you.